Sorry, I was dancing.
Is that what you're calling at?
Yeah. I'm like that competitor from Australia that, amazed everybody with the breakdancing.
I mean, dude, wait. between her and the Turkish guy that took silver in the shooting. I mean, with his hand in his pocket and just chill.
Yeah.
It looked like he just dropped the kids off at school and then came to work. Like he was like, "Listen, I really didn't feel like getting ready yet," and he's like, "I don't know, what? Yeah, dope."
I love all the memes that he's like in the Turkish Secret Service. He's basically real life James Bond and just showed up to the show. Just,
Yeah, dude. He's yeah. I mean, well, dude, he just stood there, had his hand in his pocket, and it was very nonchalant. Didn't have any extra anything. It's pretty dope. So yeah. How you doing, bud?
good, doing good. That's a good segue into PitchIT because all of the companies that were selected this round, they don't need any extra anything. They have already decided to partner with the best ecosystem on the face of the planet,
Wow.
Sean Lardo's ecosystem.
Wow. I gotta adjust my camera for all that because I got stuck in this nonsense just now. Yes, that is 1 million. Look at that. Look. See, good. I had to center myself. Yes, they did. You're absolutely right. The Sean Lardo, it's Sean Lardo ecosystem. Yes, they did. They decided to sign up for a competition. As we know, you're going to say, "Hey, so Sean, what's PitchIT?" I'm going to say, Dean, what PitchIT really is about. It's a Shark Tank like competition, we know, right? And the point, though, behind this is these vendors are all competing for a grand prize of $70,000. Technically, they're looking to become one of the three finalists, right? Because within the three finalists, the total amount of money being spent that they're actually, or winnings, let's just say, or earnings, or whatever you want to call it, is over $150,000 worth of stuff, though, because there's a $70,000 first prize, a 30,000 second prize. Third place is Marvin B steak knives, but also all three get free booth space at IT Nation Connect as well, like primetime location as well. So all that said, that's why they're all trying to become this. We have 26 vendors in now. Coincidentally speaking, because you're going to say, what's up and coming? And I'm going to tell you, next week, we start the Battle Royale. You're welcome, Dean. I got it. The Battle Royale starts next week, right? And what the Battle Royale is the preliminaries. This is where all 26 vendors, well, now 25 because one dropped out because they couldn't handle the pressure. Not mentioning names, I can say later on in some other place. Anyway, no, they actually just couldn't maintain because it's busy. There's a lot to do. But 25 vendors will be competing starting next week. Over the next 2 weeks, there's 3 days publicly with the channel program, Matt Solomon, myself, and Kevin Lancaster. He'll probably show up, but sometimes he's at the beach, so there's really no way of telling. But the goal for them is to have 5-minute pitches ready to really be able to make it to be a finalist. And when they become a finalist, they pitch live on stage November 6th at IT Nation Connect.
Awesome.
It's grown exponentially. I look at you. That's bravo. We have had a very, very, very good and large, not even say, I keep using the word incremental, but it wasn't incremental. We've had very vast growth. I mean, really, we went from,
it's become kind of a big deal.
It has. I mean, we are so fortunate and I'm blessed that these vendors are so actively involved. But when I first took over the program and I worked with Andrea Barrow and team, we asked the people prior, like, okay, so tell us about what you guys had run, like how to look. And one of the winners was like, dude, he goes, there's like 40 people to show up in a room, like friends and family. The first year we ran it, we were at 300 people in that room watching. Last year we were over 600 people in that room watching.
It was crazy.
So it was, right? And we have to put just like all the rest of the people in the world, we internally have to put requests in for space too, and things that we have to request these things. So we requested the room for over 1,000 for this year.
Last year was standing room only. I had to stand on the side with a bunch of people because all the chairs got filled. The back was all filled.
Yep, I know. And I was so we're looking at 1,000 plus this year. That's where. So anybody watching this, let's beat the record. I need over 1,000. That's what I need is over 1,000. And then if we get over 1,000, then the following year I can fight for main stage. And that would be dope.
And then we can finally get the PitchIT Octagon where the competitors can actually fight each other. And we'll get to see what regular people look like fighting each other for real.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because nothing says aggression like IT guys.
Right. Absolutely.
Engineers, they come in right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So yeah. So now we're here, but we're not here about us, are we? We're here about them, right?
I guess.
I mean, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Your beard looks good though.
Thank you. It's I'm slowly turning it your color.
The salt and pepper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's distinguished, buddy.
So who do we have first competitor? Because there was banter before the show that somebody might have been too busy to go first. So
You know what? That's valid. That's valid. Now, but they aren't. They're good. They have their stuff together, so we can go with it. So keep in mind, everybody, this is IT Nation Pitch It. This is live broadcasted, so technical difficulties do happen at times. We know that, but every week we've been meeting up with all these vendors for them to tell their story as to why they do what they do, how they do, et cetera. Right. So it's a chance for all of you watching to get to know them. So ask questions in the chat, please, for the love of God, because this is your time. So get it together.
Give him
Anyway,
a hard time.
freaking. I mean, yeah, because I always get a hard time from everybody. So why shouldn't they? We have coming up next. First, we will bring up the regular order. Um, and Keith, your beard is not more mature, dude. Keith, you're just old. And you talk about being Amish. Meanwhile, you look like you've been lost at sea. So first, we do have coming up though the co-founder, and he's been around the space for a while. He's done this before. He's basically everybody's friend, and like he likes to run in the morning, which is so weird to me.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's something like it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, this is ThreatCaptain's co-founder, a good friend of mine actually. Just had one of the best launches at ChannelCon with the Crow's Nest. Got tons
That
of
was
people
awesome.
there, right? It was pretty cool. But yeah, let's bring on Brad Powell. Look at that.
What's up,
What's up,
guys?
Brad?
How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm amazing, and I just appreciate y'all's patience with me because I was the guy that had technical difficulties and was kind of being the guy that needed a little extra help. So thank you, guys. I'm blasted off. Let's do this thing.
I like it.
You know what? Don't worry. And all these years of now being in the space, especially once we started working with teams a lot, every MSP that gets on a Teams call with me never is always muted and starts talking right away. Every one of them. So you're just amongst the many. No big deal. Just yours
There
was
we go. Okay.
So no, but do you have a sports jacket on?
I do. I
Like
do
a
have a
captain.
sports jacket. I dressed up for you guys.
I feel like this is the distinguished episode, and I
It
got
is.
my Millennium Falcon T-shirt on. I think I missed the memo. So let's talk about what's going on, man. So this is not your first rodeo, but this seems to be a big deal right now for you, and you guys have had a lot of traction happening. So let's start with who you are.
Yeah. Well, when we first started Hook Security in 2018, we learned a whole lot, and that's really what got us going with ThreatCaptain. But I'm Brad Powell. I'm one of the co-founders, and we use the captain puns here, guys. Dean and Sean, as y'all probably have called on, and my title here is Captain of Revenue, which really just a nice way to say I'm the sales guy. And that leads into I'm just a serial sales guy at the end of the day. But I take it very seriously. It's a professionalism. I'm here to actually wake up and help you build a better business. And so that's really what gets me up every day. I love cybersecurity. I love that it's always evolving. And like Sean said, man, I am a huge avid runner. It's not necessarily I do it for physical fitness. I do it for mental fitness. So, the benefits of physically feeling good is part of it. But ultimately, I found that, man, if I go run every day, and it's not always in the morning, Sean. Sometimes, most of the time, I eat miles for lunch. So I run during my lunchtime because it's a great middle of the day thing for me to do. And I encourage anyone, if you're thinking about it, running during lunch it's actually really cool. It breaks the day up. It lets you think about all the things that you did in the morning and prepares you to do the things that you got to do in the afternoon. And so fitness is a big deal to me. I have 3 amazing young boys that nurturing and growing right now. And other than that, I love the MSP community. So that's a little bit about me.
So first off, I don't care when you run. It just doesn't sound fun. And Dean did not look impressed either, which
I
you know
do
they
this on my lunch. Right in that chair.
There you go.
I mean, I applaud you for running every day. I applaud you from when I'm sleeping in the morning at the conferences still when you're running to when you're doing at lunch and I'm having lunch. So I applaud you from the window.
Well, dude, we are creating a micro community in the channel of runners, and there's a lot more people that enjoy running. And then even those like the cyber leads, they like to jump on the bikes. So even they've incorporated that into the.
Yeah, I found out Matt Topper goes running with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's the leader. We all just follow Matt Topper. Yeah.
Well, that just shows you how bad of an idea this is. But no, Matt's the man. All right, so let's talk real quick about ThreatCaptain. Not too much, but what made you guys start? What was the genesis of ThreatCaptain?
That's a great question, and one that we've been answering a lot, because a lot of people have said, "Hey, well, I thought you were with Hook, and what happened with Hook?" So Hook is doing great. They're under professional management. And my co-founder and I, Adam Anderson, looked at each other and said, "Man, we've been learning a lot over the past 6-7 years at Hook." And one of the things is that MSPs they could sell cybersecurity awareness training, but they really struggled to get the C-suite buy-in. And so that's when we kind of looked at each other and said, we really need to bring financial risk and equate cybersecurity risk into business risk. And so that's what set us out to start ThreatCaptain. We're a financial cyber risk platform designed specifically for MSPs, where we're taking our advanced algorithm that we built, and it's taking pieces of the MITRE attack framework, so the kill chain of a cyber incident, and then the Verizon DBIR and those investigative reports that show the financial costs that are associated with the cyber breach, and really putting it into financial terms and business terms for the IT directors, the security and IT admins to describe and discuss cybersecurity as a business risk to the C-suite. And one of the sessions that we had, 17% of MSPs are confident in selling cybersecurity. I can't remember the guy that was on, but it was a great session, and it was a continuum report. And so that's something that we've been driving home, is that's like 83% of the MSP community needs to build some confidence and some fundamental skills around talking about cybersecurity as a business risk. And so that's really where we're addressing the market and helping MSPs build this fundamental skill into their practice to allow them to gain more budget, better roadmap, better enrich their QBRs with financial data. And we always say that MSPs, man, they're really great at talking about the impact of a cyber breach, and they're really great at the technology and pushing the technology. And so let's bring a third leg into that and bring a fiduciary focus to what they're bringing to the decision makers of their clients. So we're having a blast doing it. We're just getting the platform launched, and we got some early adopter MSPs that we're working with. And
Awesome.
so you are
a platform, right?
We are a SaaS platform, yes. Multi-tenant, easy button for the reports, all the fun stuff that you'd expect and need as an MSP.
So I have just a couple questions. So, you have some competitors.
Yep.
So why would they choose? What's the differentiator? I don't want to say why they choose you, because I don't want you to diminish anybody else, because people have good products. So what would be the differentiator as to why somebody works with even like a security scorecard or whoever, right? Mm-hmm. So what would be the difference?
Well, one of which is what we really focused on, the product being very lightweight. A lot of our competition, believe it or not, is not in the MSP space. They're actually in the enterprise space, and they're focused solely on the enterprise, which is a little bit, too heavy for an MSP to swallow on that. But I would say a lot of the competition also is heavy. So it's agents, and, you're having to really do a lot of digging deep with the client. ThreatCaptain, we're very lightweight, very affordable, and we're simulation based. So while we're running impact simulations, likelihood simulations, we're also able to capture the controls and understand where the clients sit. But I would say the lightweight is a big piece that the MSP community is gravitating towards, and that they're really appreciating that. Oh, I don't have to go install agents on all of my clients' environments.
Brad, you said you're very affordable. I used to be an MSP. So like, how affordable is very affordable? Because I can go grab some rapid fire tools licenses right now, slap them on a computer, get a report that'll pull all the suspected PII, hit a dollar value, and I can just blap that right in front of my client, and I'm good, right? Like, so how are you very affordable? Why would I buy this?
Yeah, well, first of all, not only are we helping you, because a lot of the MSPs that we talked to have said, this is great. I see the value, but I, in some ways, feel like you're handing me a loaded gun. So not only are you getting the technology, but we're also providing you the fundamental skills that you need to think about cybersecurity as a business risk. And so that's a big piece of the value that we are bringing. We're right under $299 a month to jump on with us and get 10 clients on the platform. And so it's really it's a sell to MSP, right? So this is just like a MSP buying a CRM. They're going to buy CRM, but they're not necessarily going to go resell the CRM in a lot of cases, right? And so this is a great internal tool that MSPs can use. And there's a lot of different valuable use cases. Not only is it used in prospecting, like a lot of MSPs are using our tool for prospecting alongside risk assessments, enriching their QBRs, like I mentioned earlier. And any of the MSPs that are really looking to add or enhance their vCISO services, this is a great tool to add to your tool set to really bring in that fiduciary, that financial cyber risk analysis that you need to really be knowledgeable on talking about the business risk associated to these executives. And then the cyber insurance guidance is a huge piece as well, because what we're actually doing is the tool helps MSPs not necessarily have to be that insurance broker, right? But we're giving them the skill sets and the fundamentals that they need to go talk the language of an insurance broker.
Well, you saw what Keith was putting in chat, and having been an MSP and just knowing a lot of MSPs, everything you're saying is awesome. I can't think of maybe more than 2 MSPs at the top of my head that are capable of having that conversation if they were provided with the tools. So are you offering like coaching, peer groups? Like how do you make sure people are actually able to get that benefit?
That is a great observation. And something that we realized pretty quickly is we have to have great education alongside of this to help the MSP move through this. Because this is in a lot of ways, Dean, adding a new fundamental skill set to level up the MSP. And it's a huge, hairy, audacious goal that we have here at ThreatCaptain is to elevate. And that's why I said the 17% of MSPs that are not confident selling cybersecurity. I mean, I'm no mathematician, but that's 83% of the MSP community needs some fundamental up leveling when it comes to this. And so it is a big lift, and education is going to be a big piece of our platform.
That's awesome. So we're going to put you in the green room, Brad, because we have obviously you're not alone here. You're never alone. But we're going to bring you back after this. So hang tight. Don't go anywhere. All right. So as I mentioned, we do have a second contestant that we actually have to get to. Because, Dean, I felt like we were going to go way in the weeds in a minute there because I had a lot of questions too. So with that being said, so we also brought on for the second contestant is the CEO strategy overview. I think the nice thing about this is his background is pretty much involved with every MSP anyway. So let's bring up Alex Markov.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Alex?
How are you?
I love your background, even though you don't have any pictures on the wall, but it looks like really dope. But is that a printer in the back there?
It's a printer, yeah. It's my home office. I haven't put an artwork up there yet, but I'm working on it.
Why don't you just smash the printer and put that on the wall? Because it'll be just as effective. Just saying, Anyway, what's up? How you been, man?
I'm good. Busy, running around, building the best VCIO platform in the world. That's what I'm doing.
I feel like this is a great segue from what we were just talking about. And actually, now I want to get into your background, but if you look, there's a comment there by Keith about QBRs. Should never be about us. I think when I think of VCIO, I think of QBRs, right? It's not. I think it should be about VCO first, and QBRs are just one of the deliverables under VCIO, right? So I think it's perfect timing because let's talk about how you got into this and why you started doing what you do, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So take it all the way back in '92, my dad got me a first computer, Windows 3.1. I became a gamer, got into tech, was always tinkering, right? I got 95, 98, and then started selling computers when Windows XP came out, started helping businesses move over to XP. got ConnectWise in like 2008, I think 2009. Went full board as an MSP. I was an engineer, right? I did projects, I did sales. So I'm basically all you guys, right? Delivered computers on my back in New York City. And then I was a VCIO for about 10 years, and I couldn't find any platform that was easy. VCIO, QBR, account management took way too long. Took too long to prepare reports. We use rapid fire tools. They give you this massive, huge report that is impossible to really dissect. And
That's
clients
right.
don't.
Get him, Alex. Get him, Alex. I love the
Yeah.
the preemptive strike on Dean already about that.
No, so we use that, right? We built Strategy Overview a lot because it was like a cover page for rapid fire and lab tech reports, and it was all like clunky, right? We couldn't find anything. You know what? I would go to IT Nation, I would listen to Paul Dipple speak, and he would say, "Do this, standardize your stack as soon as possible," blah blah blah. But there was no easy way to deliver that, so we always did it with a spreadsheet, and it was very effective. But it took way too long, and all of our clients' spreadsheets were inconsistent. We started hiring VCIOs. Every VCIO did it slightly differently. And you know what? As much as we were like VCIO like champions, and it was one of our claims to fame, it's hard to do these QBRs consistently and manage clients consistently at scale. And the problem is that, yes, we want to make clients successful, and that is a major piece of growth for MSPs, because as you make clients more successful, they add users and you grow. That's great, right?
Yep.
But it's also about managing your risk. If you're an MSP that's selling unlimited support, you're signing a contract with the client. If you want to do high OML MSP and do 1 year, 3 year contracts, you're essentially, it's like a cyber insurance situation where you are taking on all the risk of this organization with your payroll dollars, right? And your emotional dollars, right? Your emotional bandwidth. If you're taking on the wrong organization and the wrong stack, it's a nightmare. Mm-hmm. So we essentially built an app that you do an assessment either as a paid assessment product or after onboarding is done, and then it spits out an IT health score, a beautiful assessment. But then, like, for people that knew us when we first came out like 7 years ago, that was our just original spreadsheet product. We did that for like 3 years when we decided to build a larger platform, which is a larger account management, client portal, asset lifecycle management platform. So that launched like 2 years ago, and we're ramping up integrations. So really, you can ingest IT ConnectWise information, tickets, configs, contacts. We added Office 365, full warranty updating, and now just launched with our IT Glue integration. So you can ingest all that stuff, and an account manager or a VCIO can see it all in one place and kick out a beautifully customized report that then you can also have a client log in and see all their data live. So we're trying to cut account management time down substantially.
So if I understand correctly, you're able to, if using your product, doesn't matter what the technologies are, you can walk into any client, assess their technologies, see where the gaps are, tell them if they're good to go or not, because they're getting that IT health score. And if they're not, do you give suggestions as to what they should replace it with? Okay, so really it doesn't matter what they have. It just matters you can acknowledge it and they can work with it. Okay.
And to the point that our MSP, like those guys, they sign any client as long as philosophically they align, right? That they're decent people and that they want to make improvements in their tech,
right?
And they contract, they sign any client and the process will work, right? Because you can take any stack component they have. It's basically like a home inspector will run a home inspection report on a home. We created a process to run that on a business, on their entire tech stack, policies, cybersecurity, the whole thing. And then on top of that, each item that's out of compliance or out of standards, that you can put an easy solution on what your recommended solution is. And then it cascades into a roadmap, in a budget, and in a really nice, so you can map out an entire client's digital transformation journey 5, 6, 7 years out.
Perfect. So actually, Keith had a really good question there about, obviously ConnectWise is involved there, but is it coming from RMM, PSA, one or the other, both? And is there bidirectional? Does it even matter? stuff like that.
There's the notes on assets is bidirectional. So if you want to say like on a QBR, the client says, well, let's retire this or let's ignore this one, you can put a note in and it's bidirectional sync. But it just pulls in all the configs, enriches them with warranty information for HP, Lenovo, Dell. And there's no contracts and no commitments. So MSPs can start for $45 for 5 clients. So the cool thing too is we run a mature MSP, and we built, like, I was a mature VCIO and I built a really awesome template. So we give that away to every MSP. So even a MSP can start with very little experience and kick up a really mature VCIO QBR.
I got a question around that. So my MSP, when I left, was a very, very mature MSP that would have loved using a tool like this, but we weren't always like that. And we were, a small, like $1 million MSP, full stack ConnectWise. If you had brought this to me then, I would have stubbornly told you I can do all of this in ConnectWise and automate and sell. Like, I have a document presentation system, I have reporting, I have my PowerShell scripts that pull the warranty info. How do you help somebody at that stage overcome that objection and understand how much a product like this would help them?
Yeah, so all that stuff is great. You can replicate all of it in spreadsheets, PowerPoint, PowerShell scripts, pull reports. What our app does is you can do all of that on a client in like 10, 15 minutes. So instead of compiling it, and you do it at scale. So that helps. The assessment template is, you can do this in Excel, but since we have pre-populated options that you can refine, essentially you are refining your standards over time. So you're updating your template. So every client you do gets faster and faster and faster. So that's the biggest thing, is that, and then you can say, I want every client's reports to be like this, like this, like this, all different parts. And for this client, I want to hide these parts. So you can run a simple client in it and just do a basic assessment. And then you can do a really complicated client that has like multi-sites, multi-dimensional journey.
So you're saying you can segment and also eliminate noise at the same time?
Correct. Yeah. So it substantially reduces wasted sales engineering, because you're kind of pre-quoting things in the app on the roadmap. So that helps a lot, because sales engineering and quoting things is a huge part of MSPs that's not talked about enough, right? To put together a proposal that's accurate takes a lot of time. You got to jump between cynics
and people don't track the time that takes against their agreements. Sorry, I know that's Sean. Sorry, we're losing you on that, but that aggravates the hell out of me as an operations person.
Correct.
What does again?
Tracking all your sales engineering time against your agreement, so you have accurate agreement profitability. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, well, okay. So, and that actually that goes to my question that I want to. So, where do the MSPs, do they work out of ConnectWise, or
no, on a strategy overview? So the VCIO QBR, VCIO TAMs, like technical account managers, would log into strategy overview, and they prepare all the QBRs in the app, and then they deliver them either as a PDF, which was our original way, or through the web app, so they can log in, and it's a fully white labeled experience. So the domain name is the MSPs, the logo, the favicon, everything. So the clients don't even see that it's strategy overview. And then we've expanded into a full client portal. So there's a full ticketing in there.
That was my next question then. So to understand that, I mean, the clients have a portal they can go into to fill in the blanks too for you, as well as the MSP part.
And the client can pull their own reporting?
They can pull their own reporting.
Without having to bother me?
5 licenses live. They can see all their managed users live, all their computers. So how many times has a client sent an email, can I see my computer list, or who are all these managed users, or why do I have 56 Office 365 licenses but only 40 users? You send them the link and you train them to do that, and they can self-audit all that. Oh, I offboarded this person, but I wanted to keep their email live. Well, you wanted to keep their email live. Here's the ticket, and you can link them right into the ticket so they can see that. They can search the entire ticket history by service board. So all the ticketing portals that I've seen, like I did it as from like an engineering perspective, and like really was an account manager and answered all these questions. So we are building this platform to eliminate a lot of these unnecessary questions.
So I have kind of a mean question.
Yes.
Bear with me for a second here. So I spent a lot of time in MSP communities, RMSP, MSP Geek, all the Discords. Spent too much time there. Why don't I see this come up? Because when I see the question come up a lot for platforms like this, I typically hear probably your big competitors being named.
Mhm.
I don't ever hear of this, and this sounds amazing. Like, what's up with that? Why don't I know about you? Why doesn't everyone else know about you?
Well, for the first bunch of years of the app, we weren't promoting it because we launched with just our spreadsheet product that basically was our assessment. And we had to rebuild the platform from day one, right? And then initially, when we started getting our integrations out, and I was still involved in the MSP, so I was shifting over to that, to strategy overview. And we haven't done really any promotion, very little. We did IT Nation last year, and we're just kind of getting our name out there. So now you're hearing about us today. We have a ton of MSPs using the app, a chunk of top 100 using the app. So like there are some MSPs that have 100 users on the product that are full time, like large MSPs that are very well known. So we launched into the HTG community, so we've kind of just been like a little inside secret to some degree. But yeah, we haven't been promoting it. We've been building the app, and now we're here.
Perfect.
Very nice.
And you know, back to Sean's ecosystem, Dean. That's why.
Of course, yes.
You know, actually though,
Quite a thing here.
yeah, and we can get into all that in a minute. But my only other question, just before we're gonna bring Brad back up in a minute here, is you talk about like them being able to do ticketing and whatnot, right? Is there like an integration, and how does the integration look if you use like a thread that does the chat piece for tickets? Is that going to sit with you all, or sit at the ConnectWise, or how does that work out?
So right now, Thread, you can embed the inbox in, so that works. We are adding to being able to embed the bot in the bottom right corner. So we're friends with those guys, and that's what's coming up next. So then people can submit tickets through the bot on the bottom right corner, or they submit tickets just directly into ConnectWise. Like in the ticketing section, you press new ticket and it creates a ticket. And really, it's right now a shortcut to just email in a ticket, because we want the ticket to come in through email, which is authenticated, and then could be routed through normal triage. So we're not really bypassing triage per se. What we're doing is we want clients to be able to see all their open tickets, especially if they're a sophisticated point of contact. And there's lots of stuff going on. If there's professional services tickets, billing tickets, VCIO tickets, they're all on separate service boards, so the client can see it. And it's a really streamlined view. Like if anyone's ever used Intercom or HubSpot or any of these like modern communication things, we got inspired by that to make a streamlined ticket view for clients.
That's okay.
Cool.
That's perfect. I think the main term there is the streamlining that piece, because with all these different operating systems, there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of noise. So I appreciate that more than just as much as Dean appreciates the sales engineering hours, if not more. So anyway, enough of that. So we can bring let's bring Brad back up and let's get to it. We can bring Brad back. That's it. Good job, Dean.
Welcome back, Brad.
Hey guys.
Hey.
You know, Brad has the coolest sound. He's almost like, I feel like he should be saying all right, all right, all right every time he gets onto the screen, right?
Okay. All right.
See? You know what that's from? You don't, do you?
Matthew, right?
Dude, that is you.
Can't
That's like
stand
you.
him.
Nobody asked Dean. Nobody cares if you can stand him or not. It's just a dope line that he says in Dazed and Confused before he became really weird. He's weird now. He wasn't weird then. He was cool. Anyway, so thanks for your contribution, Dean. So let's talk a little about this all. So I want to go back to, you know, Dean had said why we heard about you guys before. You know, Alex. You know, and this is like your coming out party essentially, right? This last year. So what made you decide to really start doing this? What made you decide to join PitchIT? Because that probably helped you, I feel like, a little bit to get you probably out there and launched a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you know, we just started launching. We launched our warranty integrations last year, our Office 365, and IT Blue now. So we're really right at the cusp now of we have feature parity with some of our like known competitors, right? But our template engine and the report engine is the cleanest and the best that I've seen. So That's why we're actually investing time into getting our name out there. I mean, I've been invited on podcasts. I've done a couple, but starting to advertise, starting to go to the shows from the VCIO, from the strategy overview side.
Cool. And Brad, what about you? Because you actually, funny thing is, I met Brad years ago at ChannelCon when he was doing hook stuff, and we like in the hallway we had this fully in depth how to grow a business conversation, and it boiled down to you just have to go do stuff because we always overthink stuff all the time, and go to market's the most difficult thing. You know what you want to do with your product, but to talk about it and to birth your baby essentially is a very scary time, right? So that was a whole conversation. And then Brad, you signed up for PitchIT this year with ThreatCaptain. So why?
Well, we knew community was huge, and it's a big piece of our go to market. And being a part of PitchIT, it's not just about going for the money and trying to win it. It's about building the community. I mean, getting to know guys like Alex that is doing really, really cool stuff in the space. And not only are we finding cool friends, we're finding MSPs that we can all talk with together. We're also looking at integration partners in the PitchIT program. And then, I mean, honestly, Sean, you put together really good sessions, and the rock stars that you bring on, Adam and I always have a hot take that we come back with, like, holy cow, we were not thinking about that. And then it's like, how fast can we implement what Michelle McBain said, or how quickly can we start using those stats that Jay McBain said, or, let's take what Bobby learned in his winning it last year at Thread, and how do we kind of use those to move it forward with what we're trying to do. And so we just learned so much.
That's awesome. And I think, and I appreciate the compliments to us. So thank you. I think one thing that I've learned, because I came from Startup World also, was the difficulties in how to navigate where to go, what to do, how to do it, right? It's one thing to build a cool product. It's another thing to know what channels or avenues to take, because especially when you're bootstrapped, you can't waste money. There's no big budget. It's, if you don't make your money, you lose your business, as opposed to a large company is like, oh, we need a quota. Well, you don't get your bonus. I mean,
Sean, have we ever had a VCIO or VCIO adjacent type of product win PitchIT?
Best was last year. VCIO Toolbox took second place, and actually year before that was Humanize It. They took third, so they're working their way up.
Guys, this could be your year.
Well, I think that yeah. I mean, let's be honest though. This is a dirty word, MSPs. Anytime you talk about sales, marketing, business processes that's not technology only focused, they're like, why do I care? And it's like, no, that's not how that works. It really boils down to the positioning and the maturity of the industry, I feel like, and it's steadily become more important because technologies aren't going away, and the multiple platforms these companies are using isn't going away.
Riskier every year.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think cybersecurity and all the attacks really made it different for everybody. You had to button up your other processes so you can focus on this even.
Well, you have clients now asking for it, and they're modestly educated on it. It's no longer just a buzzword. They've read a few articles, they've seen a few webinars themselves. They have a little bit of an idea what they're asking an MSP for now.
Yeah, yep. Our MSP got an RFP from one of the largest cities in the New York City area for only VCIO work. That was the title of the MSP. They needed VCIO as a service. So our MSP was prepared for it. They sent me the RFP, and they said, wow, I mean, this is like, so yeah, having a platform and a process to deliver strategic planning to clients as a service is a big piece of the future of this industry, I think.
So Keith made a great point here. He said it's a client alignment and the alignment you have to their business. So I'm at IT Nation this year. I am perusing all of the PitchIT vendor booths, and I come across ThreatCaptain and I come across Strategy Overview, and I have a limited amount of client alignment dollars to spend. Guys, who do I spend it on?
Oh, putting us on the spot. Brad, you take that.
Well, would you guys be complimentary to each other first off?
Yeah,
we would. Yeah.
Okay, that's one. And two,
we can embed a part of ThreatCaptain on the report, because our report captures a lot of like stack components where we definitely need some kind of deeper analytical component. You would need a platform. So Brad, we should definitely connect on that.
That's a great idea. Connect on that and package
Absolutely.
and pricing too, because Dean's first point was he has limited money to spend. And if they perceive it as being overlapping, even though you're not completely overlapping, right? You have a few things that do, but you're not the same product at all. You got to justify why I should use you both.
And to that point, right on the ThreatCaptain strategy overview website, there's a pricing page, which is not on the ThreatCaptain website, which right away to me as an MSP, I'm thinking, man, I got to talk to someone. I don't love that. And then right away, first offering free. It's only for 3 clients, only 6 reports, very low tier, but it doesn't say demo. It says free. So I feel like I got something already. So the next tier up's a value add. And if there was a partnership there, if there was a way for me to get some of that tasty value out of ThreatCaptain that way as well, that sure would be cool. Because the last thing I want to do is have to call someone and sit through a demo.
That's right.
Yep.
Alex, we got to collaborate.
Absolutely.
I think there's something really cool here.
So I do want to go back to the question about, for ThreatCaptain integration was a question. So who do you integrate into at this point?
So, obviously a big part of coming into PitchIT was we want to get into ConnectWise. Obviously want to integrate with ConnectWise. We, name a security control. We're looking to integrate with them. We're looking to integrate with the cyber insurance vendors as well, because of the financial data and cost analysis that those data feeds that we're bringing. But, coming up, I know Zach from Cintian and I are having some pretty in-depth conversations. Some of the GRC tools that you guys are very familiar with, and popular Mr. Golden and others. So integrations is a big piece of our go-to-market strategy. And you'll see us coming out with a lot of new integrations coming out over the next 6 months. And Alex, I'm going to be getting on your calendar here in the next week or two.
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically, and if I thought about how this would work out between the two of you, at some point, one of you, again, where's the partner work out of? Partner would work out of Alex's platform maybe, and then you report into that. There has to be a time when you have to set a true north of where people work out of. They can't be in 15 different portals or platforms, right?
Yeah. Well, so it's a client portal, so all the left side is modules. So theoretically, there could be a ThreatCaptain module, or it could be like the ThreatCaptain scorecard and their ThreatCaptain report, right? But then they want to jump into the ticketing component. They click on ticketing, and then when they're delivering a QBR on a PDF, or it could be a part of, like, they have a beautiful dashboard that I've seen on the website that theoretically could just be a part, and identifying their IT health, IT risk, cybersecurity score, and financial risk and then down the road it could be a widget in an overarching dashboard potentially.
I'm a big fan of not having to send my team off of my primary platform, and if that's ConnectWise, right? I'm in Evolve, I'm doing SLI. Every click off that platform is time wasted, a mistake that could be made, a decision that has to be made. And I don't want my staff to do any of that. So the more solutions like this can be put in place, ideally somehow within like the ASIO architecture. And
yeah, we're working on that too. We can also embed ourselves down the road into ConnectWise itself, right? It's just another button, and then you click that and the full BCAO stack there.
Yep.
Are you guys ready for your WWE ring entries? Are we getting to that?
So, well, Alex was like, "What do we do on this?" So, perfect, Alex. Welcome to the baptism by fire. So, at this stage of this, which is gonna be so good for you, Alex, is that we have you guys we bring a timer up. You got 30 seconds to do an elevator pitch.
Okay.
And then we critique you. So, if you go past 30 seconds, we make a very annoying noise of sorts to stop you from talking. But you have 30 seconds to say what your value add is. All right. We'll go one at a time. I mean, Alex, I almost want to start with you, but I won't. We'll start with Brad since he was first. But
put up a timer too. I'll make it there.
So all right. So Brad, you're gonna go first. When the timer starts, that's when you start. But you got 30 seconds, and this is just your elevator pitch. So keep it simple. All right. You ready?
Let's go. All right, I'm Brad Powell with ThreatCaptain, and MSPs really do struggle to quantify the financial risk associated with cybersecurity breaches. And so here at ThreatCaptain, we developed a multi-tenant platform that shows MSPs clients how to assess and think about the cost and the impact and likelihood of a financial cybersecurity breach based off their industry, size, and company.
Whew.
Whew. Dang.
I mean, we'll wait. That was good. We'll give you feedback after we let Alex go because we don't want him cheating, right? And picking up good tidbits from us. So, Alex, you ready for this, man?
Yeah.
You sure? You have to wait till you come on screen here. You ready, you said?
Yes.
All right.
Hey, I'm Alex. So I ran an MSP for 20 years and I did VCIO work. I realized how long it takes to do VCIO QBRs. So we built a platform to deliver an amazing QBR in about 15 minutes of prep time. And clients can log in, see all their assets, their Office 365 licenses, tickets to deliver the best possible QBR on the market.
With 3 seconds. Okay. All right. I mean, Dean, do you want to talk about this is where we make fun of you regardless if you did good or not? Doesn't matter. Still
Yeah. So I'm a big stickler from having just been in this space for so long. I want to know what problem you solve right away. No BS. So Brad, what I liked, very first thing, problem statement, solution, then the pitch. I like that. Alex got there. It just took him a little longer. I think that's a really important component though, because like I'm on a trade show vendor floor, I'm on the internet, I'm overwhelmed with people trying to sell me stuff, and I need to know right away what aisle of the grocery store are you in, and specifically if I'm going to choose you over a similar looking box, why do I choose you? And I think that's really important, that 30-second pitch.
I agree. Simple thing to fix is stop introducing yourself. We already know who you are. Take that out of your first part. Right? I said, what do you guys do? Not who are you? Typically, and this is a common mistake by everybody. If you're going to stage a talk, it's funny. Somebody just said, now coming up, Brad Powell. And then Brad goes, I'm Brad Powell. You already said that. You don't have to, it was on the screen. Somebody said it. If there's anything you want to add to it, like maybe they missed something that is an important piece to your talk, fine. Right? But if not, get right to the point, right? And storytelling 101 will tell you to start with a freaking story. Pitching 101 is start with a story of sorts, right? Alex, you kind of went down that route. QBRs, you could say, but, you actually said about, how difficult it was, how much time it took, right? I think the value prop, I think the problem statement really is we were losing money because we were spending so much time. And if you can, and there's industry stats in general, maybe of your own too, that you can speak to and say, to what Dean said. The problem is in sales and when you're trying to do account-based, any kind of management, you waste 25% of your time on reporting or putting together reports or blah, blah, blah. That leads to approximately about, $100,000 in spend a year or whatever.
Or answering stupid questions.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But the whole point is to talk about how you're eliminating, how you're solving for the money problem the waste, because there is a waste on people when you don't automate these things. Mm-hmm. But let me tell you how we decided to address the system head on by doing this. Now, so it's that. Brad, you start off again with the way introducing yourself doesn't matter. You did get into the problem statement. I think you could probably dig in a little bit to the value add of simplicity of working with it. You did address all the industry type levels, which is cool. A good idea because it makes it even more mass market appeal. But maybe just dig into a little bit about like the efficiency of working with you guys and the effectiveness, right?
Yeah. It was hard to follow. Like, I understood what problem you were solving, Brad. It was hard to understand how you solved it.
Got it.
So, and I would also say the last thing is neither one of you, when we talked about simplicity, talked about the fact that you could be a one-stop shop, or more importantly, you can integrate with everybody. Pull all data to one place, because that would be one of the, think about the top FAQs you get. What's the cost? How easy is it to implement and use? And do you integrate? That's always the three, right? And there's other ones that come from that too, but the top ones are always those, right? Can we use one pane of glass? You hear that stuff a lot. So keep it in mind in your presentations.
I'm going to work on my 30-second pitch while running.
Well, right.
There we go.
Look at Alex. That's one up for while running. I'm going to work on the 30-second pitch.
Right? You can give it at IT Nation on a treadmill.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's actually a good idea. So we're at the top of the hour though. So real quick, where do we find you guys next, Brad? Where do we find you next, man?
I'm going to be at IT Connect for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my next. That's my next one.
Okay, that's November. Yep, and
Yep.
possibly as a finalist. Yeah, I'm going to Alex now because I'm going to just get in your shit in a second. Good, Alex. Where do we find you
Yeah,
next?
we might be going to the Tribe conference in Vegas. We're invited. We do a lot with the Tribe. Those guys are awesome too. We were going to DattleCon in Miami, so we have a booth there. And then IT Nation. I mean, we're going hard into IT Nation. You guys will see me. Come stop by, get a look at the demo. I'll be demoing live. I got a
So
demo flow.
I'm giving you both shit because we're going to see you next is at the Battle Royale starting next week.
Oh,
If
yes.
you're pitching
Oh,
live,
yeah,
you're trying to be a finalist. I mean, kind of important, a little important, guys.
That was a softball.
That's
Yeah.
disrespectful to the
Yes.
Sean ecosystem.
You've been voted off the ecosystem.
Yeah.
You've been voted off. So we have one important question here that we always ask, and Zach or Alex, we'll start with you rather. Who are you most nervous to go up against in pitching? Like you're on stage and you have to go do a rapid pitch. Who don't you in the competition today?
Like another PitchIT contestant.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I think Crush Bank. They're in still.
Nope, they're out. So go on. They're the ones that
I
drop.
know those guys. Those guys they're
good.
in the world in Long Island. So I've known those guys for a long time, and I've been watching their product evolve. So it was
You're not
Crush.
wrong.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of great founders and teams that are in there.
Yeah, we're only about who you're afraid to pitch up against because there's a difference. You can have the greatest product in the world, but if you sound like shit on stage, your product is shit.
That's right.
You know. So, Brad, who are you afraid of?
I don't know afraid of nobody, but I would say going up against Zach at Synteon. I mean, he's got a really, really slick product and a very needed product, and it's not a lot of competition that he has.
That goes hard.
He goes hard too, and I learned that bartending with him in the Crow's Nest.
AF.
Yeah, and he's got so much energy. I just feel like he's going to bring the heat.
Yeah.
So I'll change my answer to Shreddy. I mean, I love those guys. I was an early bright gauge adopter and was deep in bright gauges. So those guys are
I mean, you know what? I can give you that for sure because you figure he's already done it before and sold a company, so he definitely knows how to pitch.
Yeah.
And Larry, Larry Garcia, he's pretty smooth when he speaks.
And they're good people too, which also helps a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. But you know what? Though on stage again, it's about who's the best at speaking. It's all it's about. I mean,
you got to be careful around Brad because he does a heavy pour, so he's going to get ready before you go on stage.
Yeah, I'm an engineer, so I'm getting
into
the speaking world a little bit. So I'm a little rough around the edges, I think.
There's a good book called The Art of Storytelling. I recommend everybody buy it. It'll tell you how to actually tell a story. That way you're not in the nuts and bolts and talking about features, because one thing that owners typically do is they do feature bathing, right? Where it's all, look at this cool thing. And I appreciate that because you worked hard on it. It's probably really cool, but it means nothing to the average user. It's what does it help me with? You know, not what is it? So keep that in mind. And storytelling is important because think of it this way. You have the ability, if you guys want to go into any pitch by reminiscing of a story of somebody you helped or yourself that you helped and why the product exists. So, so keep that in mind. All right. So Dean, where do we find you next, dude?
I don't know. I'll be at IT Nation Connect. I'll be speaking there. So you definitely see me there.
That's good. I thought you would say you'll see me next on the chat watching the PitchIT Battle Royale preliminaries. Thanks, Dean. That's awesome. Thanks for supporting the program. And
no, I probably won't be there though.
You'll be watching it live on virtual. What are you talking about? It's live. It's open.
No, I'm gonna be watching the Kasey at first time in WWE ring pitch show next. No. All right, I guess I'll be at the Sean ecosystem.
That's correct. You will be doing. Thank you. Yeah. As for me, next week I will be co-hosting with Matt Solomon, Channel Program, and IT Nation partnered up again for third year in a row for the Battle Royale. You'll see a bunch of stuff come out. There'll be a press release coming out from us over the next day here. There will be some social posts as well. So make sure you share, invite your friends, watch these guys just go on treadmills and do their 5-minute pitch. And also be part of it, help them out, help them be successful. Otherwise, yeah, I'll be at like ASCII, I'll be at IT Nation, I'll be God knows where else, a lot of places. So that's all we have for today, right, gentlemen? Anything else anyone want to add real quick? No, perfect.
Danny, you got any MMN stuff?
Oh yes, you have you got to talk about the MMN Discord, right? There it is. If you want to continue the conversation, these guys are all in the Discord. You can go on here, scan that QR code.
PitchIT channel.
God knows where that QR code goes to, but let me know once you do it. But there is a PitchIT channel actually it goes to. So if you want to contact these guys, you absolutely can do it. Someone scanned the QR code already. Look at that. Otherwise, thank you all. Thanks, guys, for being part of this. Look forward to seeing you guys next week in action. Dean, thanks Thanks, Dean, for picking up the slack for the rest of the group. And Danny, you did a pretty good job for this time. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, Danny's all right.
He's all right. Thanks, all. We'll see y'all later.
Thanks, guys.
We're out of here.
And thanks, Keith.
Of the MSP Media Network.